Actually, it's as this weather system's moved in, as Storm Eunice has moved in, we haven't seen a sting jet with this particular storm. It was always a possibility. They're pretty rare, these sting jets. No one knew about them until 1987 and the Great Storm. That's when they were first discovered as a meteorological thing. So as the storm was approaching yesterday, it had characteristics. It may have had one. There was a particular hook in the cloud that we see. You might be able to see behind me on the satellite image there, actually, as it moved just to the south of Ireland. But now, as it's moved in across the UK, it's more of a similar, just deep area of low pressure. We're not really likely now to see a sting jet, which can just lift the levels of wind by 10 to 15 miles an hour. So it doesn't look like we're going to see a sting jet with this storm, but nevertheless, it is still packing a punch and is still one of the worst storms we've seen across the southern half of the UK for many, many years.
Yeah, just as you said that, there was a huge, blowing gust of wind that seemed to go past the studios then.
I have that effect.
Are we over the worst of it, would you say? Where is this storm moving to in the country?
Well, we're probably over the worst of it where I am, which is in the southwest of England, southwest England and South Wales. We had a red weather warning in place here this morning. That lapsed at 12 o'clock. We do have a second red weather warning in place across southeast England and London. Very rare, these red weather warnings, and it's the first time we've ever issued a red one for London and the southeast since we changed the way we do these warnings back in 2011. So rare weather warnings are in place. There's a broad amber warning in place across most of England and Wales, and within that there is still the potential for very, very damaging gusts of wind. So the worst of the winds are now moving north and east, so it's kind of easing a little where I'm in the southwest of England, but West Wales, northwest England, and particularly southeast England still in the firing line. And then through the afternoon, we're going to see those worst of the winds progressing a little further north. So East Anglia, the East Midlands, and then northeast England in the next few hours before the storm heads out into the North Sea and things calm down generally through this evening.
Now, the last time we had apparently a storm of this size when it comes to winds was over 30 years ago, and there are far more, as far as I can tell, accidents and even fatalities recorded. Is that because we've just got a lot better at dealing with this now, by naming storms, by coming up with weather warnings, by taking precautions that some people might find overzealous?
Absolutely. It's difficult to compare this storm with any storm at the moment. I think once it's over, we can look at all the data, compare wind gust, and we can maybe then rank it amongst other storms. It's very hard to do that whilst it's going on. And the main focus here at the Met Office is obviously to keep people safe and get the warnings out. So that's what we're focusing on today. Obviously, we'll have a wash up afterwards, and then we can maybe compare and rank this storm. But it's certainly one of the most severe across the south for many years. The classic example is the 87, the Great Storm of 87, Michael Fish and all that. And there's two things to note here. Yes, this could be comparable to that storm, but that storm happened in the middle of the night and it wasn't forecast. This one is happening in the middle of the day and has been warned about since Monday. So that's the development that here at the Met Office we've been involved in. The supercomputer that Michael Fish was involved and the Met Office used back then in 87 was less powerful than what I'm talking to you on here, less powerful than an average mobile phone. Our supercomputers now do trillions of calculations per second, and they're much better at forecasting it. Monday was unprecedented. We never named two storms on the same day. And you're right, we do that to raise awareness so that people are aware of these storms across social media, the hashtags, and gets the information out there. People are more prepared. The rail networks were cancelling trains in advance. We have been speaking to the energy network, and they just benefit so much from knowing a couple of days in advance, so they can do some preparations, they can get all their ducks in a row and all their staff prepared. So we're far better prepared because we are better at warning, we're better at spotting these because our advancements in meteorology.
But your advice to a lot of people out there is, if you can stay at home and you don't have to travel, that's probably for the best, right?
Oh, absolutely. Particularly in that red warning area. The red warning actually runs out at 3 o'clock, so in less than an hour from now. But please don't be fooled if you're in the amber warning area. There is still a real risk here. It's just we didn't have the certainty about the gusts in that amber area to go red. We were very convinced of the damage and the problems across the southeast. Today, that's why we went red. We have to have that extra level of certainty to go red because it just raises levels across emergency services, that kind of thing. But anywhere in that amber area, still for the next several hours, there could be damaging gusts of wind and really think, if you don't need to travel, please don't go anywhere. Stay in, watch it all unfold on the TV or through social media. And further north, there's still snow happening as well. We talked a lot about the winds. They are giving wider disruption across the south, but this storm is also providing snowfall across parts of Scotland. There's 8 centimetres of snow lying across parts of the Grampians at the moment from this storm, and that's an extra hazard, and that will take a little longer to clear away this evening. So yeah, just think about it really. If you don't need to travel, please don't. This storm isn't going to last long. It's out of the way by tonight, although it'll still be windy at the weekend.